นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ Good evening, friends in the Dhamma. Today is the 15th May 2021, and I'm here again this evening with the program from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. The program that we are going to talk is the conference in the Dhamma. Today we going to discuss some part of the Dhamma, how the Dhamma can help or protect us. That is something that we might like to discuss between English friends and English monk. As a Thai monk who live in this country for many years, I think I've been here for over 33 years now in England, and we have quite a number of the Thai people who support the temple and help the temple a lot. And we also have a number of the English friends who support the temple. This morning I talked to ท่านพระมหาพีระ in Thai language in a similar topic, how can the Dhamma help us. So this is our intention to talk today in English. So most of the people who are listening and watching the program this evening, so far only Thai, I know about 4 or 5 Thai now, to say hello all of you. Is very good. You are on Facebook and also on Zoom. And significant of this is the work for WBDO. So I just want to show the symbol of the Buddhist, the scarf for the people to know that the work that we are doing now is for Buddhism throughout the world, not only England. I broadcast from England, and I would like to invite our friends who may like to share the opinion and discuss on how can Dhamma protect us. This morning we discussed with many monks and also the lay people a similar topic. How can the Dhamma help help us or protect us? At the moment, number of the audience seem only Thai, but I would like to see more English friends who may interest in this topic, because we broadcast on Saturday evening and also on Sunday evening to let our friends aware of the Dhamma, how can the Dhamma help us to protect us. The English friends going to be here. I invite two monks. One is Panya Vachiro, and hopefully the other one is the English friends who used to live here. Hopefully he can join in. But our Thai friend, if you would like to ask a question and share your opinion, your discussion, your comment, you are welcome to do so. From the experience of the Dhamma practicing, monks don't have any problem that how the Dhamma help them or protect them. But for the lay people or the newcomer or foreigner, they might like to express the discuss and also share their opinion over this discussion. I think it can be very interesting. It will be very interesting to see how you use the Dhamma in your daily life and protect you From what we discussed this morning between me andท่านพระมหาพีระ I think the Dhamma can help us a lot because we use the Dhamma as the way of life, and wherever you are, what you are doing with your practicing the Dhamma can always help you and always help you or protect you from the danger. We look at how the bad thing can happen with you if you are not practicing the Dhamma. But if you practice the Dhamma, you can see the Dhamma. For example, if you look at Mangala Sutta, for example, Buddha say, please don't do that. Do not associate with the fool, with the bad person, and associate with the wise man. For example, only that two suggestion or teaching guide by the Buddha, you can see how much is the Dhamma protect you from the bad day, and then also how much the Dhamma can advise you to the right direction, which is and in the evening, and we just finished our evening chanting, and I refer to most of the people who live in this country or outside of Thailand. Many of them have difficulty in their daily life because of the COVID-19. So now many of them experience something very, very good. They said, well, they use the Dhamma to protect themselves in different way. And because of that, so it's very good to know that one of the monks in our temple, Panya Vajiro, can help us to talk about this experience. Secondly, when you have opportunity to use the Dhamma in your daily life, I suggest our Thai members who are here today, lots of Thai people here, they enjoy being with us because of the thing, okay, the Dhamma can help them with their practicing the Dhamma by doing chanting, doing the meditating. And furthermore, what exactly the Dhamma can guide the people in society. That's why I like to hear Venerable Panya Vashiro, who just about to go to another country very soon. So we expect to talk to him in this area too. By saying that, it's very, very good to look at how the Dhamma help in the. We have now we got Kun Angkana Wattawat, yeah. You got Bang Angkana Wattawat, who also very front of the program. She always here, and we got the monk from Dhammakaya that watching my program, and we like to say hello to Kun Arisena, Kun Kasem Chandi, Kun Namphon from Germany, and also Kun Sanong Singadet, and also the other one Kun Warin, and the last one is Kun Prakong Si, yeah, and next one is Kun Amon Rat, yeah, Po Patsa. So all of you welcome to talk to the program. Nick, can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Thank you. So I got one person here. Before I would like to invite Panya Vashiro. I expect Panya Vashiro first, but however, Nick is not far from here and he's quite happy to be part of the program. Good evening, Nick.
Evening, sir. How are you?
I can't hear you yet. Can you? Yeah. Yes.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming for the program. We just talked to the audience, who most of them are Thai. I haven't seen any English friend yet, but however, we talk about how can the Dhamma help protect us. So how long you been practicing the Dhamma, Nick?
About 2.5 years, sir.
2.5 years. And can you tell me briefly where exactly you practice the Dhamma? How you start to your background first, and then how you come across to Buddhism?
Well, I used to work in the army and security, and how I came across the Dharma was by accident, but it was a good accident. And
Right.
I practice every day, and it's amazing, but
Right.
it's invaluable, sir.
So I know that you, before you came to the King's Family, where did you start practicing the Dhamma, and how it happened to you?
Well, I had a few problems at work, and I went to Wimbledon Temple,
Right,
where I started practicing meditation,
right.
and I found it had a wonderful health value to it. It reduced my stress, and that's when I found a book called What the Buddha Taught Us, which is
Right.
amazing. And I just practice every day, and it helped me so much. And that's when I
Mm,
met you, Ajahn.
right. And then, and after that, who you came to the to King's Bombay. So how you start in King Bombay? How is work for you?
Well, it's the chanting helps my concentration, but I intensified my practice and learnt
Mm,
more about the Dharma,
yes.
and was able to apply it into my everyday working life when I went back, which
Right.
helped me so much.
What is the Dhammas mean to you?
It encompasses everything. It encompasses our lives, the world, but for a lay person, it's invaluable. It will help them in everyday life.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
one, I would the Eightfold Path, right view.
Right.
You're able to identify your own delusion. You are
Right.
the three poisons, the five hindrances. You can see them
Right.
in yourself, and you can
Right.
see in other people.
Mm. Well, from your point of view, after you've been involving just over say 2 years, in these 2 years, you think the Dhamma protect you? How it protect you in your daily life? Because you are a newcomer, and second, you just practice the Dhamma in your experience. And I know that you learn a lot, and you read a lot, and you practice a lot. Which part of the is the Dhamma help you in this kind of the practicing? How it help you in which way? From what? Or protect you from what?
Well, it protects me from corrupt people in my working life. By using right view, I'm able to identify the three poisons, which are
Right.
greed, attachment, hatred, ignorance,
Right.
and I can see them in myself, but I can
Mm.
identify them in other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, and to kind of like put some space between myself and them. Uh, so in that way, it protects me from some people are really bad in life. I'm not
Okay.
judging, but I just try to put as much room between me and them as possible.
Right. Well, that is a very good point that you mentioned. It protect you from the idea of corruption. Why you said corruption? I mean, the corruption mind or corruption? What exactly you mean corruption? Protect you from corruption? You think the people in society they have a lot of corruption mind, or what you say about this? How you you think that Dhamma help you in this area before you practice the Dhamma? What did you see, and after you practice the Dhamma, what did you see different?
Well, before when I didn't practice the Dharma, I used to become frustrated with life
Mm,
because I knew something was wrong uh,
mm,
in life, but life itself at the moment is too fast, and we're encouraged to be greedy. We're
mm,
we're encouraged to crave these things which are unwholesome and live a life which is ultimately it ends badly for us.
mm.
But by practicing the Dharma, I'm able to live a more wholesome life now, where I don't need everything. Um, you're constantly being encouraged to consume everything and run at a faster pace, but by actually slowing down and being mindful, we can be happier.
Right.
And that's what, to me, the Dharma is. It's about living a wholesome life and just going slower. It's doing less but getting more. But
I
it's
see.
the right way to live.
Did you, after you discover the Dhamma or the Dhamma can protect you, did you mention this to anybody or talk to someone that you think you influence the people by your way of life? For example, before you turn to Buddhist or turn to practicing Buddhism, and then after that, when you discover something very good for you, how can you you show or you help the people? What how you influence or show the people in your opinion when you say something very good, and after that, how good? And did you have chance to talk to the people by yourself or show uh, appear yourself to be seen that you are different for person from from the past, if you like?
Well, my wife says I'm a different man. So, but
Right.
I try to relay the Four Noble Truths in a more, not using the word dukkha, but
Right.
more the impermanent nature of things,
Right.
the chronic discontentment with life, and
Okay.
try and elaborate more on that point. And people, it seems to sort of like resonate with people. So, and they seem to think I'm well clever for it, but it's not my words.
Mm.
But they do know that I'm a Buddhist now, and
That's very good. I am pleased. When the COVID came like this, I mean, the how did you find, and the other person find, uh, the COVID help you, or how do you feel about the COVID and how you use the COVID as a crisis and to make yourself feel better or whatever from the daily life what you normally you compare with somebody maybe they are suffering because of the COVID, and then you are seem not at all worry about anything.
no, I wasn't. I was quite happy, to be quite honest. Not that I feel sorry for people that are suffering, but in my own world, I'm very content now. Where I was sitting with my wife, who wasn't very content because
Right.
she's very busy all the time.
Right.
But I just used my meditation practice and just done more. I was more introspective, but I used the time effectively.
Right.
Whereas, like I said at the start, so when people are they're pushed, they have to keep moving now, and they
Mm.
don't like it when they stop moving because
Right.
they have to think. Well, not think, but there's a difference between thinking and wisdom. The thoughts turn in on themselves.
Right. Well, that's it. Very, very good. You like to say anything before I invite Pante Panya Vachiro in, and then you can share later because I would like to invite individual one-to-one question. So you like to say something to those who have been involved with the difficulty time. I mean, we are facing difficulty with COVID-19 at the moment. How you suggest or reckon them to use the Dhamma to protect, to help them to overcome the difficulty, especially from your point of view and your experience.
Well, the meditation practice is essential. If you haven't got 20 minutes a day to practice meditation, you need to do it for an hour.
Right.
And everything is impermanent, and this will pass. And I just like to thank all the Thai people for helping me.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nick. Okay, thank you. Panya Vachiro, where are you now, Panya Vachiro? Are you about now?
In the temple.
All right. It's very funny. Very,
I was
every
just
time
listening to Nick,
can
actually.
you hear Nick what the Nick say? How you feel
Yes,
about his saying?
he absorbs more than he lets on.
Right.
He's certainly gone up in my estimation for his level of understanding.
Right.
And I've watched him change, so
Right.
I can confirm he's a changed person. I can confirm
Yeah.
that quite clearly.
He's well full of the mindfulness and very helpful and very very kind and very very a lot of the energy that is interesting. He got lots of energy for that.
Puts lots of effort
Yes, and
into
effort for
doing
that. Yeah.
it. What yes, he does. Puts lots of effort into it.
In
From
well, Bhante Banya Vachiro. So I know that you just about to go to another country to Poland by saying that because a lot of people will miss you. But however, when you are there, we still would like you to be on the program. It's all right with you when you are there, but the
I
time
won't be
quite
far
different.
away. It
Yeah.
might be a long way in miles, but it's not far away in minds.
All right, that's very good. So can you suggest anybody on how you feel? How can the Dhamma protect us? This is the program. The question that you asked me this morning, and also I think better for us to put on the program Friends in Dhamma this evening. So that's why we are here today. So better to ask you a question. And then I got someone, Somchai is on here. Also, I don't know where he is now, but it's very good to learn that he one of the person who practice the Dhamma. So can you tell us a little bit how the Dhamma can protect or can help us? Yeah.
Well, if you listen to Nick properly,
Yeah.
you would realize that he has a lot of new knowledge.
Right.
And knowledge is power. However you want to look at it, knowledge is power.
Right.
And he's using his knowledge in the right way to achieve a greater sense of well-being, a greater sense of happiness in his life. And it's spreading not just to him, but to his wife and possibly children as
Right.
well. And that's how the Dhamma spreads, very, very carefully, but slowly. And whenever you come into contact with a person who is happy, happiness spreads. So, there's a lot of good going on there. A lot of
Right.
good.
Well,
Yes.
that is good. I mean, you mean the person who practice the Dhamma can spread the Dhamma by showing their the quality of practicing, like a
Yes,
kindness, compassion among the people.
absolutely. I do.
You show your quality. Yeah.
By showing these feelings and these approaches to humanity, of course, you change yourself, and then you change other people around you. When you make wholesome acts continuously, they come back to you. It's the same with your karma. You
Right.
do unwholesome things, and you get bad stuff thrown back at you. Do wholesome things, and you get good stuff come back at you. It may not come back immediately, but it comes back eventually. So it's very much spreading the Dhamma by being a different person and a better person for his experiences in the Buddhist world. Yeah, I can't. I mean, I just listen to it, and I can't deny any of what he says. And he's
Nick,
using the knowledge to improve
Nick,
himself.
when then Banya Vachiro say that, how can you respond in this? Yeah.
Well, it has. Thank you, sir. It has changed me, but and it is spreading, but like my house in my wife's family was the only happy house.
Right.
It's just the Dharma encompasses so much, and if we're mindful, we can select the correct things at the right time. We will live a happy and wholesome life, I think, sir.
Right. Well, it's a wonderful suggestion from Bakongsi Gardner. She came from Scotland. She said, Nick is definitely improving after I met him last month. Well done.
Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Well,
There you go.
it's very good. I appreciate that, Nick. Thank you very much. Okay, for your suggestion. You are welcome to make a comment. Just show your hand and then you like to say something. Okay, Panya Vashiro, we got the lady Suchada, Suchada But Tawanit, she always make a comment sadhu every time. So I like to thank her that she always keep eyes on the work that we are doing. Quite a number of the lady see, and all of this I haven't seen any. Oh yeah, got three English. Now we got we got current English, and also we got well, Somchai is a Thai name, but actually he's an English, so he like Thai name. Anyhow, we got two or three, only three English now. However, so as an English person who been involved in Buddhism, Panya Mashiro, how do you suggest the people? Because you know that how it protect how the Dhamma, how can the Dhamma protect us? Can you say something in your own experience and your practice?
I've just said it actually. The Dhamma gives us understanding of ourselves and of other people and the world that we inhabit. It gives us a much better understanding. I mean, Nick has just mentioned friendships. Well, you know, the Dhamma tells you quite clearly what sort of friends to keep at arm's length, what sort of friends to depend on, and it is mixing with honourable people that makes the difference. If you mix with dishonourable people, then it's sort of catching, and it makes life very difficult for you, and you're likely to be led astray and to do wrong things. So, I mean, you know, he's just picked on one little thing there, but it's a very big thing, really. And it all amounts to using his new knowledge to improve himself and his family and the people around him.
Right.
And it's that the Dhamma gives us, that the protection. You know, Ajahn Pira, he picked up his phone the other day and he said,
Yes.
this is my Dhamma for my phone. And he was showing me his cover for the phone.
Right.
The cover on the phone acts as its protection. And therefore,
I
this is
see.
the phone's Dhamma, is the folding thing that covered the phone from one end to the other, and he's very, very right about that.
Right.
You know, the Dhamma envelops us, covers us with the knowledge needed to move forward to improve our lives, and it's having this understanding that makes all the difference. This afternoon, Nick and Martin asked me about the khandhas, the five aggregates,
Right.
and I find difficulty in answering them in simple terms, because the five aggregates are very special things that people, I mean, they were looking at it as though it were this, and this, and the senses and perception and whatever, and very concrete, very solid things, very tangible things. And it threw me a little, because I realized that many people, if not most, seem to think of the five aggregates as something that we're sort of made up of. And you know, this idea can pull you away from the knowledge that you need to actually move forward. And I was a bit thrown. They have a list, and I don't like lists. I've never liked lists. I like understandings and the emotions attached to these things. So I was going to talk to them about the five aggregates, because you see, the five aggregates lead up to something
Right.
very, very special in the Dhamma. They're not just the five aggregates, and they don't just relate to yourself.
No.
But that people seem to get that idea. And I mean, I've read it many times. Some very clever people have really worked at ingenious ways of finding the self in the five aggregates. And of course, it doesn't exist there at all. I mean, they're really the five aggregates of clinging. And it's
I
that
see.
last word, clinging, that should
So
give
the
the,
word clinging, that is
yes,
important than anything else. That
well,
is interesting point.
that word should give the clue, really, that these five aggregates are not just something that exists. Each
Right.
one of them is a process. It's not a thing, it's a process.
If you have no clinging, that means you are more or less you not cling on five aggregate. That is very good point that you
Well,
mentioned here.
that's what it really boils down to. I mean, if you could absolutely remove the five aggregates from your life completely, then there would be no clinging and therefore no unhappiness, no sorrow, no
Right.
suffering.
That is very good point to make it.
Yeah, well, but it unfortunately they had made the same mistake as I read many times. The
What do you
five,
mean?
well,
How do you mean you make mistake? Why you said they make mistake?
well,
Which
everyone,
area?
not everyone, many people make this mistake. It,
Right.
by analysing these five aggregates,
Right.
you're coming to a position where you think, what is a person? It's answering that question. What is a person? Well, it's not. It's
There
not
is no
answering the
person.
question, what is self? What is anything to do with self or person? Actually, it isn't answering
No.
that question at all. And the in the Pali Canon, it
Right.
never tries to answer. Never tries to answer these sorts
Answer
of
what?
questions. No, the Buddha never tried to answer. I mean, if you look through that, the sutta, the Kanda Sutta, for instance, if you
Right.
look through it, there is no point where the Buddha is trying to answer that sort of question. In fact, he ignores the question. In fact,
What do you mean he ignore? The
well,
people
he never
ask
tries to
question or not?
answer.
Yes.
He never answers what is a person or
Right.
what is yourself. He never answers it because it's not interesting to him.
Right.
He was only, his teachings are all about suffering and the
Yes.
end of suffering.
Right.
Suffering and the end of suffering. And that's all that his teachings are about. Wherever you look, so trying to find a person in these five aggregates is a wasteful time. It's a waste of your time. Because there isn't a person in the five aggregates.
Oh, yes, we know there is no person. But how you suggest the people who use the Dhamma in daily life to be able uh, to understand and also use the Dhamma to protect them?
Well, I mean, one of the earliest things that the Buddha taught was about the five khandhas, the five aggregates of clinging, and he
Right.
did that for a good reason, because it leads up to a particularly clever question when you go through it properly, both clever and protective to the person, to every person. And it's that process that, if they really understand that process, the Dhamma will protect them even more, much more, actually, much more, because it answers this question, which I'm not going to repeat at the moment, but it answers a question that is fundamental to the Dhamma's protection of the person.
Don't you think we are little bit go too deep in fire?
Well, you probably think I always go too deep, but
Why
if you
why don't
don't
you go?
understand,
No,
how are you going to?
why don't you go to how the Dhamma protect you in your daily life and
Well,
how can, because a lot of people who are maybe they're practicing the Dhamma in their daily life, but they don't know exactly how it can protect them and from what what exactly you think the problem happening now to uh, somebody said Luang Pu talk very hard. Okay, Nick, can you okay you say something, Nick? Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Nick, can you say
I
something?
do.
Yeah.
Well,
Hence the
modern
reason for not answering Nick's question this afternoon.
Okay, Nick, can you say yeah?
Well, I think with modern life, people are over stimulating their senses. When they're at home, they're sitting there with their mobile phone on their lap, the TV's on. They're not actually being mindful and living in the moment. They're trying to do three things at once, but they're not doing any of them really. They're better off. I just think people are overstimulated their senses, and I think that's in the Dharma because it addresses senses and stuff like that. So it's just that's what I think. Just to be more mindful, less is more. That's it, really, sir.
Oh,
I
that is
love that. Less is more.
okay. Less is
You
more.
know, the Buddha taught the few for the benefit of the many. Did you
I see.
understand that? Did I say that? No.
Yes.
Well, you see, I very very much enjoy for both of you speech or discussion, because your discussion and your understanding about the Dhamma, more or less whatever you understand, it helped me to see this is the Dhamma helping the world, helping the people around me, especially who come across in the temple, who know about Buddhism, either by action, by seeing the monks who practice, or by seeing the people who practice the Dhamma. So look at the people who want to show their opinion. Yeah, for example, now we got Karen. Karen, what to say? She said, "I'm trying to practice to wait for 15 seconds before I speak, and I think this is helping to protect me, even if it's only from saying the wrong thing." And then the knock, yeah, and
Knock-on
effect
effect is I
is that
don't
yeah,
upset
yeah,
people.
and yeah,
Karen,
and
that's
effect is
brilliant.
don't upset the people. That is
That's
good.
brilliant.
Yeah,
Absolutely
you
brilliant.
see that good enough.
Yes.
Yeah,
There you go. That's a very good use of the Dhamma.
that use the Dhamma in the right way, isn't it?
Yeah. Right speech.
Yeah, that means you use the Dhamma in your daily life. I say to now, when I see you, all of you who involve yourself in Buddhism, it saved me to talk, because I think you know what Karen said. She said this is only the lady. She said, well, we set our self to own the problem. Nobody else does. The Dhamma help us to understand this. The Dhamma protect me from myself. That interesting. But
Absolutely. Hang on. Don't jump past that one. That's a clever one.
yes,
That's a clever one.
yeah,
The Dhamma help protects me from myself. Well and truly said. It really does. It really does. And
right.
and Ajahn protects you from me.
Well, you see, when this is one of your lesson, yeah. This is one of your lesson, yeah.
Yes,
This is very
absolutely.
good to hear our friend who, you see, we got 2 or 3 English saying, English friend who discuss with us. It's very good, Panya Machiro. And Nick also part of our discussion today. I say, as being in as a Buddhist monk in this country, and I've been involved with so many English people through my journey, and I know exactly. I never convert anybody to be Buddhist myself. I think entirely up to them. And when after they be Buddhist, and when they talk the Dhamma and show their understanding and practicing the Dhamma, I think that is very, very good point. Because, for example, when one day you went to to the funeral, Panyavachiro, you can see that because you are English, and then you went to the funeral, visit English funeral, and you can see a lot of people, they shock because it's, I no need to tell how good the Dhamma is, because I show the person who appear, who are not, not even the European appear in the in that kind congregation. You can see the point now. And,
The vicar didn't like it.
Because you are European, you see.
No.
And
Buddhism is an Asian religion, and it's not quite us. What they don't realize is just how fulfilling it is as a path.
right.
That's how fulfilling. I could have been doing anything this last 14 or 15 months. I've spent it in the temple through choice, and given up some very comfortable ways of life.
And how do you feel? How do you feel being a monk, and how you feel between the, you practice the Dhamma during the time? For example, I say the Dhamma is meant for daily life as a monk, as a lay, and also you practice more. You see, when you are a lay person, you no need to put up with many things, but now you have to put up with many things.
Well, let's get it clear. I like being a monk. All right,
Yeah.
We'll start with that. But monkhood is difficult.
Right.
It's very demanding. You don't just sit there dressed up, waiting for someone to feed you. Even eating is actually a responsibility.
Right.
So no, it's very very demanding being a monk. There is always something to do, always. And we're not talking about manual labor here. We're talking about dealing with things on a mental level, more than manual labor, although we do sort of do that these days as well, but mostly it's on a mental level, trying to improve yourself as a monk. And the monks that come here, I mean, Ajahn Pira is here now, and not for much longer, unfortunately, but he is a prime example of a person trying to better understand it's called ramifications, to better understand the Dhamma itself, to better be able to use the Dhamma to improve first himself and then other people that meet him and come to him, talk to him. And he doesn't talk in riddles like I do. He talks very
What you talk with though?
well, I mean, the only thing I miss is academic conversation about the Dhamma.
Well, the lady say, the lady here, Ankana said the Dhamma protecting us, because we use the Dhamma practice in daily life by letting go and be with more
in the present.
Yeah,
absolutely correct.
Yeah, that is,
and that applies to the monks as well, by the way.
Yeah,
very much.
That's
so.
very good.
Very
so
much.
That is very good. Well, Panjabichiro, as a Buddhist monk, now I would like you to ask. Nick. Nick is a lay, and he got the idea. He also like to be in robe one day. What you make you feel? How you feel about that, Nick? Because of you see Panjabichiro as a monk now. How you feel about that? How you think the monk life and also your life, and you see the benefit of that, the value of that?
Well, it's just an inspiration, but life at the moment with the family. But one day I will become a monk, not for personal reasons, but like you two are just helping people, watching you help people day in, day out. It's amazing. I just didn't realize how hard you worked until I came here.
Mm. That
But
is very, very
Oh, I'm
good.
glad you recognised it.
7 days a week.
I
7 days
didn't
a
see
week,
that
yes.
I'm working at all, but I involving myself with the people. That is my more or less my daily life. I think that is, I
You,
didn't see, but you see the working to meditate for say, talk to the people. And one person said to me, Ajahn, you on the in the morning you have 1 hour and 30 minutes, and in the afternoon and in late afternoon, no, late morning you have 1 hour, and late afternoon you have another, and in the evening you had a 1 hour 30 minutes for the chanting. And now here, well, I don't know what to say, but I
Well,
you don't
that's
think
in
stop.
addition to daily life and all the things that go on face to face.
yeah.
It's not it's not exclusive that by any means. So it's additional. So yes, long days
Well, the lady,
every day.
today we got quite a number of people come for the chanting for 100 days after her husband passed away, and of course we have to talk to the people. I think that is my life, my daily life, and I don't think that is, if you think it's bad, hard, I can see it hard, and it's difficult, it's hard, it's difficult, and then it's not easy life. That is definitely so.
But it's very
Yeah, but how
pleasurable.
you feel. You fed up sometimes, you feel bored
No,
sometimes, and you feel
no, there's a great deal of pleasure to be had from what is being done here.
right.
A great deal of pleasure. There's a lot of happiness in this temple. No, you can't just get fed up. I can get angry with you all. But no, it's quite the opposite of what people might think. It's hard work, and you don't
It's hard
recognise
work.
it
That's
because you've
right.
done it for 30 odd years here in England.
I
It's
I
just
think
comes
I think I
natural
don't
to
like to
you.
say the hard work. I think if you enjoy being, I think that the same as you are, wherever you are, if you enjoy, the word enjoy is mean you don't put yourself in the pressure of doing work, and don't really demand and
No,
frustrate about daily life. I think when
it's
things come and let it come, and then when it go, and then and it's very uh, because I enjoy, because it's, you see that current say, if you enjoy what do you do, it's not a job, you see. I
well,
don't
this is
think it's a
true.
job.
That psychologically speaking, yes,
Yeah.
just psychologically for a moment, there's lots of evidence to show that a person who is very happy at home with family life but unhappy at work is not very happy actually. But a person who is happy at work and happy in family life is a very fulfilled person. So you're right. If you enjoy your work, it's not really a job. It's more of a pleasurable experience that brings you in what we all need, and that is the cash at the end of the month or week or whatever. So it's very important to be able to enjoy your work, and that is certainly the case here. Certainly the case with the monks. The Sangha itself, it's full of people who are enjoying every moment of what they do. You don't hear complaints. You just don't hear that sort of thing. It's not. It's a very different atmosphere. The monks take on. It's my duty. I hear this all the time. It is my
Right.
duty, and off they
Well,
go and do whatever their duty might be. Yeah, and
one, one
there
one
isn't
thing that I
complaint
would
there.
like to mention, to agree with Karen, yes, if you enjoy what you do, is not a job, because the monk life is more or less a daily life. The same if you have the Dhamma, and the Dhamma you practice, or when you hear the word, Buddhism is uh, the Buddhism is we call something like the way of life. So the people don't use Buddhism as the religion; they said the way of life. So that means if you know anything about daily life and Buddhism in your practice in daily life, it's very very good. Um, because somebody also said something like Kun Pakong Si said, "I'm so happy with my morning and evening chanting." Yeah, when she said, "I lost my husband, but I don't feel." alone every morning and evening. I have my chanting to looking for in my daily routine. You can see that that's something you feel comfortable about. Also, you enjoy. That is important. You enjoy. You like it. That is something you fulfill your day. That is my personal opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
yeah.
Being able to spend a little while in a day chanting, listening to chanting, trying to do it yourself, and I'm still trying, very trying.
And
Dear, oh
don't
dear.
forget, I won't wake you up when you are in Holland and Poland. Okay, I make
I wouldn't put it past you at all.
I let you think is I like to joy. You know, you can joy like them, like show your Facebook and you are there if you wish to. But however, when you are there and when we have the program, that's another opportunity for you to contact us by showing the program that we are involving in our the daily life. And
Yes.
Saturday evening, Sunday evening is if that it's good, it will be good for all of us. Anyhow, so I like to ask Nick again the last question for both of you because we run the program up to 1 hour only. So, Nick, apart from your, you learn the Dhamma for protection, I mean, for your life, what exactly you think the Dhamma can help the people who are not Buddhist yet or not really Buddhist? If they turn to be, how you going to say to the people who are non-Buddhist or non-religion, in your opinion?
But is it a religion? Is it a science? Uh, like meditation is cognitive therapy. This is a way of life. There's no faith here. I enter the Dharma and dwell in it with direct knowledge, not faith, not guilt, not shame. I can identify these defilements and I can try and rid myself of them. The Dharma will let you lead a better life. Like if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life, and that's right livelihood. That's on the Eightfold Path. There's many loads of them, but I generally think if we follow the Dharma, if we're kind, it'll be a kind world. Whereas other religions and stuff encourage hatred. They what not they don't discourage some things, but I think if people followed the Dharma in daily life, they don't even have to call themselves Buddhists. They just become really good people, sir. But ultimately, they become Buddhists once they see what it is. But they're just put off at the moment because I think people in general are put off with religions. But like I said, I think it's a science.
Well,
That,
you could
very
take
good.
you could take it in both ways, both as a religion spiritually, and as a path in life. And frankly, I don't mind which route you take, or both, preferably. It seems to me that the Buddha just wanted to inform people, to teach people how to have a happier life, and how to, I mean, let's forget nibbana and all that. Just the intermediate steps make you happier as a person, and in making you happier, it has already proved its worth. If you take it another step and take the spirituality on board, then that's more so, as it were. Yeah, more so, because then you can help your relatives, like we do the Abhidharma in brief, when people have passed on, and help them towards having a better rebirth, we hope. We share merit. I mean, these are they're not spiritual if you don't want them to be. They can't, but they are spiritual if you want them to be. By sharing merit, you're sharing good wishes to everyone. By sharing merit with the dead, you're helping those people. If you're spiritual, you're helping those people who have passed on. So it's, I mean, I'll use the word baptized. You baptized a little child Saturday.
Yes.
You see the mum? The mum was overwhelmed at
Yes.
the good wishes, at the blessings for that child's life. Overwhelmed. We don't do enough of it. But that little child, did he cry? No.
Happy, very happy boy. Very
Well,
happy boy.
no, and so from a spiritual perspective, it can
Right.
be a very fulfilling thing to take part in. So it is both a path to happiness and a spiritual thing too. So therefore, it is a religion and a science. It's definitely a science, and I'm hoping to run a class on Zoom or whatever it is to look at it in detail, because it helps me to better understand when I'm talking these things out. A good teacher always learns from teaching, always.
What
And
meant was the sorry.
well, no, it's okay. It's just that that would make my life more fulfilled by understanding, coming to understand the Dhamma. I've spoken it, not just thought it and read it and worked with it. You speak it, and if you speak the Dhamma in its nitty gritty, in its scientific sense, you can become even more. You understand more about yourself, both within and without, and everyone else around you. And by understanding everyone, and the world, don't forget the world. The Dhamma it also includes the environment. You don't just ruin the environment. It makes for a much more wholesome person and a wholesome life. We have a man here, Frank, who started off doing big work down in Plymouth. He comes here and he's doing the gardens, constantly doing the gardens, and the pleasure it's giving him, following the right path, is enormous. Unfortunately, his body shape and his age and his infirmities make it extremely difficult for him to sit on the floor. Extremely difficult. And I've noticed that he's in pain afterwards, and he doesn't always turn up to chanting. But that's more fear of damage than it is not wanting to chant. He's learning to chant one way or another. But the work he puts in is put in the name of the Buddha. There's no doubt about that. So, what is he doing? He's making karma all the time. Even in the rain this afternoon, we were talking, Ajahn and I, and where was he? Wheeling a barrow full of some sort of earth from one side of the place to another. It's a long way in the rain, I might tell you. So
Well,
these things, he's changed. Not that he needed changing in the way that, or wanted to change in the way that Nick wanted to change, but he is changing for the better.
But
Definitely.
what I meant, sir, was that most religions are narratives. This Dharma, the blessed one made, is very spiritual, but it's like geometric. Every time I change, it seems to change. I see more things. It's so complicated, but that's where I think that the temples and the monks are essential to teach us. But but no narrative. But it's just I don't really know how to describe it. It's amazing.
You put it into practice. That's what you're doing. You're practicing the Dhamma. When you're doing everything, you're practicing the Dhamma. You're practicing it mindfully. You're taking part in the chanting mindfully. You're having a go. You know, it's not easy, and you meditate for substantial periods of time, trying different sorts of processes, meditation processes, to achieve one which really suits you. You know, it that's what you're doing. You're actually practicing the Dhamma, and that's a big thing.
Okay, that is very good, Panya Machiro. Thank you. So I would like to thank to both of you who are uh, who's now taking part in our program very much in detail. But one thing that I forget to ask, because after we round and round in the same question of daily life, I didn't see. Can you put in only one sentence or to a little bit of very small saying?
Very small.
How how can the Dhamma protect us in very simple way for the people who as a outsider or inside, and those who practice or non-practice can put it the same as somebody turned to me, can you give me saying for the day? So I walk on the road and then they ask me like that. So you have to think about one or two sentences to make the people remember how can Dhamma protect us. Nick first or who going to you? Okay, Panya Vashiro. Okay, Panya Vashiro first.
In the Dhammapada, the Buddha says, "Do good and be good," and it's like an overcoat, a big overcoat all the way around you, because if you fulfill that, do good and be good, good things come to you.
Thank you. That is wonderful. Nick,
Yes, sir.
what you going to say?
Morality, samadhi, wisdom.
Morality, samadhi, and wisdom. That is wonderful. Well, thank you very much
Good
for both
man.
of you
Good
who
man.
have very good suggestion for our daily program. Today, the time is over, just over an hour. I would like to thank everybody who are both of you, especially Panya Vicharo and Nick, who is our the moderator and speaker for discussion this evening. I would like to say to all of you, the Buddha teaching is practicing help the people who practice anywhere you are. You'll be a happy person if you practice the Dhamma, and the Dhamma will stay with you all the time, and then you will be very success in your life if you practice the Dhamma, and the Dhamma will protect you, because the Pali say Dhammachari Sukhang Seti. That means for those who practice the Dhamma, they will bring the happiness. The happiness stay with you all the time. And thank you very much for all of us from here. And may you be happy and free from suffering, free from hatred, from hurtfulness, from troubles of body and mind. May all of you be protected by the Buddha teaching of the Dhamma. Abhivadana silis niccang uttha pacayino cattaro dhamma vattanti ayu vanno sukhang phalang. Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you.